Hello, everybody. Charlie here from Rugby FL with none other than Mr. John Sinner or Signer?
Well, if you're saying it in English, it's Signer, but in
Signer?
Espanol, it's Siner.
Sinner. Well, and Sinner doesn't sound good because, you would have going to
Juan
church
Pecador.
every day.
Juanito
How you doing,
Pecador.
John? Hey, I really appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your incredibly busy schedule, as I can imagine. Thank you very much for taking some time. I did not want to miss talking to you just the week of the tournament. So just give us an update. How are you guys doing? How's it going?
Well, yeah, listen, thanks as always for having me on. It's always a pleasure to support the great work that you guys are doing. So thanks for having me, and happy to talk more about the Tropical Seven. So here we are, 2024, and it's our 7th edition. And incredibly, Charlie, it continues to grow every year. And I guess that's a testament that people seem to like the tournament and want to come back, and they tell their friends and they want to come back too. So it's really great. So we're on site here in Tampa. We were at the fields today, and everything started to go up. So that's an exciting time when you start to see all the rugby equipment and everything going up, and the venue kind of coming together as like a rugby heaven, So that's good, and things are going well. And it's a bit challenging, I would say, as well, because we've gotten so big that we have more fields, more teams, more kind of knock on everything. So it really pushes us as event organizers to get everything done and in place. I think we're lucky that we've done it a few times now, that we can use our experience and lessons learned from previously to know kind of what we need to do. It's just the scale of everything. So incredibly, Charlie, we're over 200 teams coming from all over. We have, it's about a third, I would say about 70 teams are international teams. 25% of the total teams are coming from Canada, but we've got others coming from all over. The farthest team coming is from Australia.
Australia. And do you have any teams from New Zealand like last year?
No teams from New Zealand this year. We had a few lined up earlier who said we're going to pass this year and come next year, but we got a couple of teams from England, a bunch from the Caribbean, which is good to see, kind of like the Caribbean teams representing this year. So it's super exciting. The competition is going to be amazing. And yeah, it's going to be good. It's just going to be really, when you're there, you're going to see how kind of big and intense.
Oh, I've seen it,
but this year's going to be even more so. We'll do the athlete combine again, where you see the pictures there, on the screen. That'll run Thursday afternoon again. And then, the competition runs Friday and Saturday, and it looks like it's going to be great weather. So everything's kind of falling together nicely for this year.
Lucky you with the weather.
Yeah, it could be worse. It was raining here a couple of days ago, but this week looks amazing.
How bigger is it than last year?
So it continues to grow. So 2 years ago, we were about 140. And then last year we were 170. And then here we are, I think we're about 210, which is really the max that we can do, because we're using all 15 pitches this year, which is incredible. Again, it requires a lot of work for us to get all the goalposts up, all the fields lined, everything decorated, all the benches and everything kind of put into place. But yeah, you'll see it. It'll be a hop-in venue this year. We've added a stage with the DJ, so we'll have music and animation. The new building is done, the new vendor building.
Oh, okay.
There's this whole other side of the plaza that'll be filled with vendors. There'll be more merchandise like what I'm wearing here. A really cool line of merchandise and jerseys and T-shirts this year, which is going to be fun. We've got an official photographer this year that teams and individuals can sign up with to get great photographs done. Gosh, what else? Oh, I could say we've got some really great new partners. We just announced that we've signed U.S. Army as a tournament partner. So they're the official sponsor of the athlete combine, and they'll be out there, hopefully with some like really cool U.S. Army related things and activities that everyone can participate in. So yeah, and then we've got a banana boat who will be We'll be doing a bunch of giveaways of sunscreen, and we'll be selling it. So Banana Boat is good. We just partnered with them, as you know, the Miami Sharks. So we'll be doing some promotion of the newest MLR team down in Miami. So yeah, kind of lots going on all at the same time, which is really good.
Can you bring all those people to the game on Sunday? That would be pretty awesome.
We will be giving away tickets on Friday and Saturday for Sunday's match.
Okay. No, just kidding. So I just can't imagine, or I sort of curious, just looking at the schedule, I counted 630 games. So how does this get done? Because I'm sort of involved sometimes with our little tournaments in Florida, getting the schedule done, and it's like a nightmare, and it's just like 2 fields or 3, you know. How do you guys do this? And for the most part, it works, right? I mean, everything is on the field and the time where the schedule says.
Well, yeah, it's the first thing I would say is you're right. It's over 600 matches, and it's obviously a lot of complexity. So it takes us a long time to develop the matrix of all of the competition schedule, because I think it's divisions. 18 divisions that we need to schedule, and all of those need to be separated by a certain amount of time. One of the things that we also tried to do today was to kind of group them so that, you know, one division won't be there all day. They might play in the morning, they might play in the afternoon. The other thing we've had to do, Charlie, is extend the day. Yeah. So we're actually going to be playing a lot of matches under the lights in the evening,
which is awesome.
Which was going to be actually really, really cool. And we're going to do a lot of the featured divisions. For example, you might know that we've added adult divisions. So we have a senior men's and a senior women's, and they're very high end teams. So it's going to be very, very elite level rugby at the adult division, the senior division, and then the under 23 men's and women's are also really high end competition. So those will be later on in the day, so people can see these matches under the lights, which is going to be really, really exciting. So the secret is to be on time for your matches, because they, you know, as in sevens, they need to fall back to back to back. Yeah. And we probably run 25 to 30 matches a day per pitch, which is challenging, but it runs, and we'll go 9 a.m. on Friday and we'll start 8 a.m. on Saturday. And then the last games on Friday will probably be 8:30 to 9 finish time.
So how many people are working during the tournament to get all these things running smoothly?
Again, Charlie, it's this crazy amount of scale that's really hard to even think about how to manage all of this. But I'll give you some examples. Just in the referees, we have 80 referees that will be on site refereeing this match. And they come from all over, not just in the United States, but they're flying in from Canada, from internationally. But they want to referee our event. So there's this demand for referees to want to be at our event. So that's good. And then USA Rugby is once again using the event as a pathway program. So it's an official development camp. So they'll have their people on site as well. So we have 80 referees plus a 10-person delegation from like the USA Rugby crowd that will support it. So there's just 90 in referees alone. And then we have a core team of staff, and then probably up to 50 volunteers. We've got a merchandiser. We've got several vendors. And then the venue team has their staff and group on people. I mean, you're pushing 150 to 200 people just in staff that has to get managed as well. That can be quite complex as well. But
yeah, just having
to pull it off.
Just having to feed them must be complex.
Well, yes, we have to feed them too. Oh, the other thing, Charlie, that's I wanted to mention in this call was that we have a new live stream broadcast partner. So if you may remember, the live stream at the last 2 editions of the Tropical Sevens was using the in-house system.
Yeah,
it was based on the artificial. Yeah, just based on artificial intelligence. So it was an unmanned camera that was trying to follow the play, and it just simply wasn't working very well. So this year, completely different. We'll have manned cameras with a producer at each field, and it looks like we'll have commentary at every pitch.
Every pitch. Wow.
And you can go to our social media or website, and you can sign up for the live stream. It's $30 subscription for the whole weekend, and you can see all the matches. and it should be. I mean, it's the first year we've used this live streamer, but it should be really, really cool.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's really awesome because having all these teams from abroad, all the fans of that team will want to watch. It's definitely
Well, we keep getting asked that every year is, will it
yeah,
be on TV? Will I be able to see it? Because, people, like you said, they're coming from everywhere and not everybody can come to Tampa. So we think we're going to have a pretty good broadcast audience, which is also exciting. And it's a part that you don't really think a lot about because you don't physically see it. But it's a really great way to get the exposure and allow other people to consume it and experience it as well.
I can't imagine me being a little bit in that business of the video, setting up 15 fields. Wow.
It's an operation.
Oh
Well,
my
I
God.
think we're going to see you this weekend. Yeah.
Well, hopefully I will drop by.
Would love
Oh yeah, for sure. And I wanted to ask you, you have a plan B if it rains?
it.
Because rain makes everything so much difficult. I'm just thinking of these guys taping,
Well, yeah. I mean,
But
listen.
I think it typically does not rain other than a few showers, right? It's like extremely hot for some reason. But
Well,
you haven't had rain like all day long in any tournament, I think.
no. You'll remember we had a really freak.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Normally, this is the dry season, as you know, so you don't get a lot of rain
There's
up
no dry
until
season anymore, man.
summer. So we're pretty lucky. And one of the reasons why we scheduled it at this time of year was that the likelihood of rain is very, very low. But we did have the one year in 2019 where the freak storm came through and we had to shut down on day one from like 2 o'clock on, and we were able to rejig the competition schedule and get most of the matches done on the next day. But the good thing about this venue is that it has the lights. So we can, if we needed to take an hour or two break, we can just simply elongate the day and they would go a little bit later at night, but we have that option. So, but if rain wipes out a whole day, then you just got to redo the competition schedule as best possible. But this week won't be an issue. Good weather forecast.
Great. And let me ask you, what do you do all day during the competition? What is your function?
Well,
Other than be freaking out every 2 minutes, I guess.
yes. So I am in a position where I guess I'm a bit the orchestrator, but maybe even with less responsibility, I would say. I make sure that everybody else is kind of doing their job, if that makes sense. So I don't get involved with competition. I let the competition people do that. I don't get involved with broadcast. I let them do it. But if they have a problem that they need solved, then I'm on it immediately. So I tend to be dealing with problems which just come up naturally, as opposed to like having a job that I need to do. I guess that kind of makes sense. So it's sort of an orchestrator, but it's really more of a support to everybody else that's out there.
So, John, when you started this in 2015, right?
17.
17 was the first one, which FIU won. Back then, were you envisioning this being at this stage 7 years later?
Charlie, that's a great question, and I do get that from time to time. So when we first conceived this tournament, it was an idea. In a way, it was, you could say, a dream if you wanted, but we had a business plan that we were also following, and we had a good feeling that there was a demand for this type of tournament if we put it on at a high enough quality level that people would want to come back. So we had a 5-year plan, and it worked. Amazingly, it worked. And, in some ways, very unexpectedly, some things worked. Some things worked that we didn't realize would work, and some things that we thought would work didn't. So it kind of grew organically. But to be honest with you, it has surpassed our 5-year plan in terms of size and scope, and it's really got an amazing brand awareness, even globally. It's pretty incredible, the reach that the tournament has, and that's a testament to, I think, all the teams that have come, played it, and talked talked well about it and gave it, a much broader audience in that respect. So we're at a point now where we're looking at what's next. What's the next 5-year business plan? Because you got to keep thinking about, what are you going to do after this and continue to grow? And we're looking at kind of all the options. But the Tropical Sevens has arrived at a point where it's a very nice kind of tournament. It's a beast to manage and put on, but it's reached the level that we had kind of originally thought and dreamed that it could turn into.
Do you think it should get bigger or maybe more sort of better level, higher level?
It's a great conversation to have.
How big can you go? 30 fields? I mean, you're gonna have to have like golf carts to move players around.
The challenge, there's different ways to grow. I think the biggest challenge that we would have doing this tournament bigger is we would need a second or third location, and that would make it pretty tricky to be able to run a competition at multiple different sites. It's possible. We'll see. But we've also thought about, doing spin-offs, like making a college only type tournament, maybe during spring break that would fall nicer on a university schedule, for example. That could be something we would do, or maybe we do something in the fall. But so we're looking probably more at other events as opposed to making Tropical Sevens bigger.
Yeah. And this is the first year you're doing the seniors. How do you expect that to go?
Well,
now next year, I think you have 7 teams in the men's. Now next year you have 20 that want to come.
Well, I think we need to prepare for that. So we had a lot of interest this year in it. I think because it was the first time, people wanted to see what it was going to be like. But we have some really, really good teams that have now committed and are playing. So it's going to be a very attractive, I think, tournament.
My son is playing, so that's
well, he'll be good. Yeah. So that's something to think about. That's another idea that we may have, is to do a senior level only tournament. So we had this concept that we said, well, if we do the seniors, let's play them at night and give them these kind of under the lights featured matches. And that's kind of what we're trying to do this year. And we'll see. A lot of this is a test, so we'll see how it goes. And I tell you this, that when we did announce that we were doing the seniors at the high level, then we had a lot of the referees that were instantly like, I need to go referee those matches because they want the experience at that highest level. So that was an interesting knock on that we had. So lots to think about for the future, because we know that we'll continue to get more interest.
Is there some kind of party at the end of the tournament?
Well, we haven't done an official party announcement. We've thought about it. In the rugby culture, that's part of it, is to have that final party, especially at the older age groups that would want to mix and mingle. So I got to be honest with you, Charlie, we've been hustling so hard and fast getting the competition ready that we're like, that ending party sounds like the nirvana that we could maybe arrive at.
This is probably one of the, if not the biggest sevens tournament in the world. Or do you know about? You probably have researched this.
Yeah, it is. It is, and I think now it's officially the biggest in North America, and it's right up there with some of these other really, really big ones. Roslyn Park, which is a big one in the UK, which runs I think in early March or February. They have a week-long tournament, and they kind of have different age groups that come in during the week, and that's a big tournament as well. But with over 200 teams, it's definitely a mega tournament, and on one of the biggest in the world.
Okay, well, John, again, thank you very much for taking some time. You look tired but happy.
I'm ready for bed tonight.
I hope everything goes well. It's let me just tell you this. I honestly don't promote too much a tournament because you sort of don't need it. It's not going to make any difference, but I'm always like following it. And I think it's something that has, and I've been following it since the beginning. So it's really nice to see something like that. And it makes me wonder, how come we don't have more stuff done here in Florida, rugby wise?
I've had a similar discussion in the last week, Charlie, as well, about how to improve the broader rugby landscape in Florida. And I think there's a lot of opportunity to grow. Obviously, there's a lot of room to grow and opportunity. And this is something that we as the Tropical Rugby would probably be investing in, which is why we have this partnership with Miami Sharks. And there's, I think, going to be some opportunities in the next few years leading up to the men's and women's Rugby World Cups that are 2031 and 33, that there'll be a lot more investment in the game from World Rugby and internationally. And I think Tropical Rugby is in a position to kind of push some agenda there and help continue to grow the sport in some capacity. So I agree with you. Lots of work still to be done.
Let's bring the HSBC Sevens from LA to Florida, and you can organize it. Huh?
You never know. I mean, World Rugby is always looking for the next kind of thing. I was actually out at LA Sevens a month or so ago, and got to went to the stadium for a day. It was cool to see that kind of level at that kind of rugby at that highest level. So a lot of the athletes that come through Tropical Sevens are ending up at that highest level. There'll be some at the Olympics this summer in Paris, which is exciting. So to see that kind of connection between playing our event and then going on and playing, collegiately and professionally, and things like the Olympics, that's pretty cool.
Okay, well, amazing tournament as usual. The best of luck, John, and hopefully I'll see you over there if I can.
Yeah, listen, Charlie, I just want to say, thanks to you for supporting rugby like you do, and thanks to the wider rugby community for supporting Tropical Sevens. We're happy that it's so popular and it provides a platform for everybody to play. And we look forward to seeing everybody that's going to come on site this week. It's probably upwards of 5,000 people that will be on site, so it's a big event. And then if you can't see it, check out our live stream, and we'd love your comments and feedback on how the live stream was. So we look to keep improving that year over year. So enjoy the Tropical Sevens.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much, John. I'll see you soon.
Thanks, Charlie, for everything.
Bye-bye.
Yep, see you.